Hi, my name's Pastor Joe. Thank you for joining us in this devotional thought during Passion Week. The text today can be found in Matthew chapter 26, verses 36 through 39. Then Jesus went with his disciples to a place called Gethsemane, and he said to them, "Sit here while I go over there and pray." He took Peter and the two sons of Zebedee along with him, and he began to be sorrowful and troubled. And then he said to them, "My soul is overwhelmed with sorrow to the point of death. Stay here and keep watch with me." Going a little farther, he fell with his face to the ground and prayed, "Father, if it is possible, may this cup be taken from me, yet not as I will, but as you will." The place called Gethsemane is actually a grove of trees on the Mount of Olives. The Hebrew word Gethsemane means oil press. The place of pressing is an appropriate place for Jesus to fall on his knees and seek an in-person discussion with God the Father. It describes to a T exactly what Jesus was experiencing on the evening in question. Finding Jesus sorrowful and troubled is certainly different than how we usually find him. Usually, Jesus is the one telling us not to be troubled. John chapter 14 says, "Don't let your hearts be troubled. You believe in God, believe also in me." Jesus tells his disciples that he's overwhelmed. Webster's dictionary says that to be overwhelmed is to be buried or drowned under a huge mass. Here in Matthew, Jesus says that he is so overwhelmed with sorrow that the sorrow itself is literally sucking the life right out of him. He moves into Gethsemane and falls on his face to the ground and prays, "My Father, if it is possible, may this cup be taken from me. Yet not as I will, but as you will." Pay close attention to what has just occurred. Don't miss it, for what we're witnessing is the greatest and the riskiest moment in the history of the universe. This is the moment that is most perilous for all of us. God in human flesh is weighing right in front of us whether the action of dying on the cross so that you and I might have forgiveness of sin and be reunited with the one true God is worth the cost. The power to decisively move one way or the other lays squarely in his hands. We often hear people speak of power and authority. Power is given by virtue of one's office or position. Authority is granted by those who you serve. A person may have power to do something, but not the authority. The use of power without authority to do so leads to war, just as we've seen in Ukraine today, as Russia used their power to invade Ukraine without the authority to do so. People stood in defiance. Same can be said about the use of authority. A person may have the authority to act, but not possess the power to do so. People can give someone the authority to make a decision or bring an action, but if they don't have the power to accomplish the task, tragedy occurs. Don't get confused concerning power and authority. Power is given by virtue of one's office or position. Authority is granted by who you serve, and in Jesus' case, the one he serves. Jesus has both the power and the authority to let this cup pass from him. There has never been a more perilous moment in all of eternity as this moment when Jesus speaks to God the Father and weighs the cost for you. Jesus not only lays down his godliness to become human, he also, right here in Gethsemane, in the place of pressing, surrenders his humanity that you can find your way back to the God who loves you, the God who gives himself for you.